Drones for Education. We're back with another Techstination interview. I'm Fred Fishkin. Glad you are here too. Joining us is Cameron Chell, the CEO of a company called Draganfly Innovations. Thanks for joining us, Cameron.
Fred, it's a real pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Draganfly spelt in an unusual way. Our viewers can see that in the background, D-R-A-G-A-N. Tell us what the company's all about.
Draganfly is the oldest commercial drone solutions provider and manufacturer in the world, at least to the best of our knowledge. We've been producing drones and drone solutions since the mid to mid-ish late 90s. We actually commercialized the first quadcopter, put the first cameras on quadcopter drones for commercial distribution, sold the first quadcopters to multiple public safety agencies throughout North America. And what we're actually most proud of, I guess, is that a Draganfly drone was the first drone that was credited with saving a human life. And today that drone is on permanent display in the Smithsonian.
That's terrific. Now we got a drone on Mars, don't we? Not, I assume not a, it's a NASA one.
Yeah.
So tell us about this new partnership that you've announced with Steve Wozniak's Woz Ed program.
Yeah, so Woz Ed is an amazing program that focuses on STEM education, primarily K through 12. And they really do a great job of enabling teachers and school systems who might not have STEM resources to be able to offer STEM programming or STEM programs to all students. And it really encourages the students to start to specialize into certain areas so that by the time they get into high school, they've got an incredible base knowledge of the STEM topics and the courses available, and to either better prepare them for post-secondary or to get them into a spot where they can move into the workforce right away. Their most popular program is drones. And drones are becoming obviously a greater and greater part of our society. They're playing a larger role. And what Woz Ed realizes or is recognized is that drones is really a point where a lot of STEM technology or resourcing is required in order for good operations. So when you think of drones, they're just not out there training drone pilots. Their incredible program also teaches them about aeronautics. It teaches them about physics. It teaches them how to code. It teaches them about the use of AI in drones. It really is a melting pot of all of the other programs that they offer. Now, the fact that it's a really cool device and that the students actually get to use drones, fly drones, build drones, solder with drones, drone racing leagues, actually go on live virtual missions with pilots that are out there that may be doing delivery missions or might be doing geophysical missions or might even be doing EMS missions. These are all things that really make it a compelling program. And just the way Woz Ed has set themselves up to make this affordable and accessible by any teacher, whether they have a STEM background or not, is really quite remarkable.
So how is it going to work? They're obtaining drones. Woz Ed is obtaining the drones from Draganfly?
Yeah, so they were using some imported drones, but the functionality that they really wanted to be able to build into the drones that they have in terms of the students being able to take them apart and clip them together if they're in the younger grades, so almost like a Lego-ish type drone, to see how it flies with only 3 propellers, or to see if it's controllable, or and then you get right up to the senior high drones where they're actually building those drones and using soldering equipment and looking at different types of designs and kind of a couple steps in between, which includes programming. They just needed some greater functionality built into those drones. They also have maybe concern is a strong word, but they also have they're very conscious of North American content. They're very conscious of security. These drones are around all of our students and our young people, so they want to make sure that the drones that are being manufactured are at least under the assembly or guise or engineering of a North American-based company.
I guess the ruggedness of these devices has got to come into play too when we're putting it in the hands of young people. Those of us who've dabbled with drones know that accidents happen.
For sure. And so whether it's ensuring that they've got the right bumpers or that they're super lightweight or that they have the right type of plastics in them that don't carry pathogens or whether they've got things like removable blades. So if something breaks, you can just click it back on, which is actually a patent that Draganfly has for for blades that are removable on all drones is a patented feature. We take these things into account. And the nice thing is that Woz Ed has had years of experience of understanding what works and what doesn't work. So, often you can start thinking about all the really cool features that these things could have to help in the educational process. But because of their experience, we know what are kind of nice to haves and what are really must haves. So
For a lot of us, when we think of drones, we think of photography and videography. Is that going to be part of this learning process too?
yeah, it's very hands-on. So like I say, they do everything from racing leagues to build drones, to do photography, to participate in virtual missions, to discussions and design around what types of drones and are used for what types of missions, what type of protocols are best adhered. In fact, when they come out of the other end at the high school end of it, they actually have what's called a Part 107 license. They're a commercially licensed drone pilot at that point. So it's very, very practical in what they do, and so at that point, if they want to do something like real estate videos or use their talent for cinematography or photography, I mean, they can go out of the gate there and do that. If they want to then advance further into being an EMS pilot, or maybe move into the defense services and stuff, then they've got those options as well.
Not to mention all of the fun they're going to have.
Exactly.
Kids get excited as adults do too when they're
it's not hard
playing
to
with
people
these.
engaged around drones. It's and the more function they have, the more fun they are.
Well, congratulations on that. Tell us about the effects of the pandemic on Draganfly's business, what you've been able to do or not do.
Yeah, it is completely unintended consequence, I'm sure, is the fact that the drone industry has met a new level of acceptance. The practicality and the utility of drones in an environment where you've got to have less contact is really important. So we have a number of key initiatives, including vaccine delivery, including medical delivery, and we're seeing uptake of this in North America. And so it's everybody from the regulatory perspective right through to kind of corporate America going, oh, wait a minute, there's real ROI in terms of being able to use drones in replace of to do dangerous or monotonous type jobs, right through to the consumers going, wait a minute, maybe drones aren't evil, maybe this isn't Terminator 3, maybe, like just that kind of acceptance of them. So we're really, I'd never like to say the word overwhelmed, but we're right at the edge of full capacity in terms of inbound inquiries from businesses looking. Again, they're not as interested in like, hey, I want to get a drone, but they're really coming in and asking for is, I want a solution, right? Can you get these packages delivered? Or, can you get me an inventory count on my forest, while at the same time checking out vegetation health, and at the same time doing water table analysis, and at the same time, or 2 weeks later, planting trees with a drone, right, and saving me thousands of dollars in time, and so that type of thinking is now pervasive in the Fortune 5,000 companies, and it wasn't pervasive before COVID.
Are there really vaccines being delivered by drone?
There are. We are doing vaccine delivery in pilot tests. Yes, and where this becomes very, I think we'd all be naive to think that this is going to be the last, epidemic or pandemic that we're going to be faced with. We see outbreaks of Ebola right now happening in Africa, and other pandemics happening around the world, and drones are proving to be an effective way to get equipment and vaccines into that area and exposing less workers and less people ultimately, to potential infectious conditions. The drones and the technologies that we have can actually even take and measure the vital signs and potential infectious conditions of the workers and or people in the area that equipment is being dropped to. So literally from a distance, just from the cameras, we can pick up things like heart rate, respiratory rate, SpO2 levels, blood pressure, all indicative of if infectious conditions exist. Really important in terms of like how you assess, how many workers you put in, are things spreading, and you're not having to put necessarily people in there, to take temperatures, which is again just one more person that's exposed to that potential danger. So the potential is really quite limitless.
And this is done through cameras and sensors on a
Yeah.
drone, is that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Do you also play in the consumer space?
We don't. Our typical space has been in public safety and the commercial space. Up to the lower limits of the military space. That's really where we really provide solutions in that space. Certainly the drones that we are producing for Woz Ed would fall into the price point category of those consumer drones. But our value add in that is that we're providing specific types of programming, learning mechanisms for those, and that some special sauce. The toy market is mind you, some of the toys have incredible capability now, but that's from a margin perspective, that's a pretty hard game to play in, and our engineering bench really, and our AI bench really like solving cool, challenging problems. So it's a tough to be in the consumer market as a North American company.
So for more information about what you're doing with Woz Ed and all of the other activities, where do people go?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. If you go to draganfly.com, but remember it's spelled DRAGAN, fly.com. That's draganfly.com. That would be the best place to check us out. We also are a public company, and our symbol is DFLYF. That's DFLYF. We're just about to uplist onto the NASDAQ. And, by all means, check out our site and see if there's anything that we can do in terms of providing solutions for what's to come.
Terrific. Again, it's draganfly.com, DRAGAN fly.com. Cameron Chell, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
So gracious. Thank you, Fred.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.